Okay, it's Wednesday, November 10th. It's about 9:15 in the morning, 45 minutes into trading. Just thought I'd highlight the three stocks I traded. I could be done for the day. We'll see what develops. And then I'll kind of go around the board and just show you how I kind of analyze, what different stocks are doing and what might offer an opportunity for another trade later on. But Netflix, just looking back at it, this was the first stock I traded on the first bar. As you recall, I was really wanting the stock to break out pretty quickly above the blue line. When it was just pausing up here, I got out, and for a very small loss, just because I was extra cautious on this one. You could see that was a good move. We're heading lower. And on the daily chart, like I said, I just didn't like the way this, even though I took the opening signal, I kind of knew the context. We're just grinding up inside this red bar. That could be a rollover to the downside, possibly. So if we didn't get the move I wanted quickly on the 15-minute chart, I just exited quickly. And that's why, risk management is everything for what I look to do. CrowdStrike, beautiful. I was expecting that big push up to the blue line. That was the weekly target. I was able to exit most of the position up there. So that's a good looking trade. Now, if we just pause here, which would be a good sign, again, I'd like to see us hold above the midpoint of this green bar, this most recent one, and then pause and head high. That would tell me we're breaking out even higher, but it's hard to say if it will or not since we reached the target. But again, just a great trade down in here, given the context of the last 2 days that I went over, that once we came up on the first 15-minute bar and paused, that was going to be a powerful breakout to get to that level. So that was the key to that trade. And this stock here, the low price stock, still holding up very nicely with green bars right from the start. Again, I love the overnight gap. Big move. Low float stock from 5 to 15 was coming down early in the session, and this strong open was the key to looking to buy that one early. As opposed to this stock, this was another low. Let me go to the 15-minute chart on RNG. This was another one I had tracked. Look at this one. This one gapped up really big early on, but if you can see here, that first red bar went down. So, and then it came to a point where you could expect a bounce. I went over this trade yesterday on CrowdStrike down to the yesterday's close, and it is bouncing off there. It's not really necessarily exact support, although it is on a trend line. It's a pretty good support area. So you could have played a bounce here, but I don't like that opening price action compared to RNXT, which was green to start, and that's why I got in that, and that was a nice trade. Other stocks, well, it would really take too much time to go over all of them. NVIDIA is moving up nicely. It actually had a down overnight session. We had a nice green bar, so that is a buy in terms of the chart. I mean, in terms of the daily price action, 15-minute bar moving up, green, holding the midpoint, starting higher. If we look at the context of NVIDIA, though, on the daily chart, I just don't like the way it had a big reversal red yesterday, and we're not really above the midpoint of yesterday's bar. So to me, this little opening price action, even though we if you look at it, we are at the bottom of 3 days of support here. That's why we're bouncing. But I still see this in more of a consolidation phase. So any move early on is just going to really come up a little bit into that red range. That's all I would anticipate today. You could even see on the fourth bar, we kind of moved up and we're starting to reverse lower. So I don't, and we haven't even reached those overnight highs yet. So this is that trade here. If you would have jumped in, on the first 15-minute bar, is just good for a couple of points, the way I see it. Not really necessarily a big mover. But there's a lot of other stocks, that I'm tracking, and they haven't done much. You can see none of these stocks here, Costco, DoorDash. Actually, this one I really thought might start strong with the big gap up, but you can see here on the first 15-minute bar, we kind of paused. This one, if we make a new intraday high later on, if we just kind of hold here for 3 or 4 bars, I'll buy that. Actually, I'm going to put an alert in right here to buy that, since I'm in nothing now, really, up in this area. Because I like this price action. We are gapping up, and I think we're just delaying here before maybe a start of a move higher, but I'm not going to anticipate it. We have to break above when you get this first 15-minute bar not doing much, then you have to make a new intraday high to get interested in it. So that's it. RBLX, the stocks are watching, started green. Actually, I didn't like it because it was coming down a little too much on the overnight action. And Riot is a stock that looks like, truthfully, Probably is bouncing off its close and heading higher, but it didn't really start strong. If we make a new intraday high, it could be a stock to try to at least break these overnight highs in here. That would be the target. So there's a lot of things going on, but CrowdStrike was the big stock that really had perfect price action today, and that when you look going around the board, you never know what's going to happen on any given day. But today, a couple of good trades. So I'm out for now. We'll see what happens later on in the session.